Oh my god guys, I can't believe it. The channel reached over 9,000 subscribers. Thank you guys, as you're the attackams to my Ayatollah, and I'm simply blown away. And of course, a special thank you to the elite foreign lobbyists who keep giving me money so I can pass the important legislation for our people. I'm not just saying that because they're paying me, that would be preposterous. And of course, a special episode requires a special country. Welcome to the United States of America, arguably the specialist country of all. Currently we are ruled by our president, Andrew Jackson, a based Democrat. Man, they just don't make them like they used to. Legally speaking, we're pretty good. However, at the very beginning of the game, our society is heavily polarized and extremely divided. But I got just a solution. Censorship. I mean, look at this slavery debate. It's such a hotly disputed topic. It's destroying our society. Remember guys, this is a debate about states' rights and nothing else. All the random arguments about racism are merely European propaganda. That's why we have to make our very own faction. Everyone, welcome to the Canada-United States-Mexico, the one power bloc hellbent on big strong America. And of course we're going to get creative legislature, as I'm willing to get creative with my legislature. Alright guys, I can hear the debate. You keep arguing that we don't own Canada or Mexico, but that's nothing but European propaganda. We're going to take Canada by force. What are the British going to do? Sail their troops across the ocean and stop us? Hilarious. They don't have enough boats. And it's time for elections. Alright guys, you know what to do. Go out there and vote Democrat, so we can make America great again for the very first time. And we managed to amend the First Amendment. And the Democrats managed to win by a landslide. All thanks to you. So now we have everyone's favorite president, John Cowhound. And it seems that the industrialists and evangelical Christians will join the Democrats in the next elections. And of course, it is time for us to reform the slave system. Obviously, everyone is pretty happy once we enacted censorship and our creative legislature is really putting in work. Additionally, I'm going to give political concessions to everyone, as we are not planning to stay on banned slavery for long. And the pro-slavery movement is rebelling, which makes the whole thing into a race. But on the bright side, the war is going swimmingly. Additionally, I already disbanded Johnson & Johnson, so we can establish a brand new American company, the Coats Patented Firearms Manufacturing Company. Are we attempting to be the world's military-industrial complex, or what? And we banned slavery. Whew, that was a close one. The abolitionist movement is gone, allowing us to freely establish dead slavery. Hey guys, do you know what the British are really good at? That's right, leaving. In fact, 58 countries around the world celebrate a national holiday on the day the British left. Even America does it. And very soon, Canada shall also be allowed to celebrate. In the meantime, we're going to make the big deal with the Danes. As you're all probably aware, Greenland is vital for our security. Where else am I gonna build my luxurious bunker? I mean, what kind of an idiot would nuke a pile of ice? And we can have another company. Unfortunately, the really good ones, like Carnegie Steel, require pretty advanced research. So for now we're gonna get the American Metalworks Inc., so we can get some steel and tools. Alright guys, we solved the slavery debate. That's right, if you can't pay off your debts, you become a slave. Exactly what our society needed. Otherwise, it is only a matter of time before we get a failed bankruptor as president. If I want to bankrupt the entire country, I would vote for a woman, because women can't count. Women! Am I right guys? We should also get a central intelligence agency, as the Canadians are getting quite rebellious. Come on Britain, give up already. And there you go guys, after 4 years, Canada can finally enjoy their the British left day. Unfortunately, I can't help them with their rebellions. But that's okay, as we can finally have one big satisfying car. Damn it, I guess we have to wait for it. In the meantime, we're going to annex the Indian territories, as this is America and most certainly not India. Learned how to read a map. Losers, even more Canadian rebellions, and yet another opportunity to vote Democrat, and everyone's into it. A secret police. Alright guys, I hear you. You have many concerns about your privacy, but to that I say... Am I an American politician or what? What? Quebec just left our faction. Not on my watch. Invade them immediately. They back down. Whew. I almost declared a war, which would have been very uncharacteristic for our peaceful country. Anyway, we're invading Alaska. What are the Russians gonna do about it? Cross the ocean with their armies and stop us? Hilarious. They don't have enough boats. And we get 4 more years for President John Cowhound. And I know what you guys are thinking. We definitely need a professional army. I mean, if the British don't have enough boats to sail their armies and stop us, no one does. And the Russians won't surrender without a fight. Fools, I have Oregon on my side. Look at that, lightning occupation. I didn't even have to do anything. Hang on a minute, the abolitionists are rebelling. And to that I say, what a bunch of idionationalists. Am I right, guys? Anyway, it is time for us to cross the southern border and steal all the Mexicans before they can escape. I need them for a couple of jobs. Additionally, I have a side quest to create aesthetically pleasing borders, which will make real men come. There you go, guys, a steady income for our military-industrial complex. What? Did you guys actually think I was enacting a professional army because I'm some weird warmonger person? Of course not. It's a money embezzlement scheme, which is objectively way better. Even the revolution is gone. Wait, what? There is no abolitionist movement anymore. Hilarious. Alright then, my next act as president is to dismantle the Department of Education. And we're going to sign a peace with the Russians as we're finally victorious. And by adding Alaska to our faction, we can have one big cum. Technically it's 2 cums. Wait a minute. Denmark is ready to join. Perfect. Denmark is my favorite European country of all time. I love them. Hang on a minute. Why am I getting a Civil War event? We've already solved the slavery debate. Student loans won. What? Did you guys actually think I was enacting private schools? Because they're better. Hilarious. Anyway, now we have a brand new president, Joseph Choate. I mean, it doesn't matter as we have new elections. And the Democratic Party shut up the polls. And our army shut up the Mexicans, forcing them to surrender. Well, there you go, guys. The moral of the story is always dress for the job you want. Additionally, we can start confederating Canada. And it all goes to Oregon, my favorite Canadian state. God save the president. Student loans engaged. This will create so many slaves, it's unreal. And the Democrats managed to win, which means we have 4 more years for President Joseph Choate. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Damn, look at that government debt. How are we affording this excessive spending to pay for these elections? You know what, guys? You're right. We have to abolish them and be fiscally responsible, as I would hate for us to go bankrupt. Wait a minute, the president's natural charisma is allowing us to add code of personality as an amendment to our oligarchy. Now that's the 3rd amendment I'm talking about. But tell me, guys, what is your favorite amendment? Denmark left donkey balls. Alright, guys, the moral of the story is Europeans are just like women. If you break off all of your previously existing agreements, they just leave. Reforms at gunpoint, damn it, the stinking liberal bastards are attempting to stop the 3rd amendment with guns. What is this, a high school? Oh no, wait, they want cultural exclusion. You know what, guys? Stopping racism is a small price to pay to abolish democracy. Racism was definitely the bad guy and not the fact that anyone can just buy a gun. And just look at that, we're almost selling more guns than cotton. God bless America. Also, we're increasing tariffs on tools because fuck 'em. And the 3rd amendment managed to pass. Finally, our president Joseph Choate can have a proper government with elitist slavers, industrialists and the armed forces. Now that's the classic based American government I'm talking about. But now we need to have an important reform, removing government regulation from the economy. And the labor movement is rebelling. Listen, guys, ignore their disgusting propaganda as they're desperate to convince you that once there's no government regulation, the corporations will force you to eat lead paint, which is bad for your health. Preposterous. Lead paint is very healthy. Everyone knows that. And we can continue confederating Canada. God save the general. Wait, what? Oh no, it seems that we are now a junta run by our general, Joseph Choate. It's because we have too many Mexicans, isn't it? And now we're faced with a choice. Should we abolish slavery in the West or should we expand it? Obviously, we're expanding it. Currently, we have 2,700,000 slaves. Finally, I can achieve my dream of owning a slave of every color. Remember, guys, the moral of the story is gotta catch 'em all. And we're attacking Guatemala as we have to expand in Central America. That's not a real country. It doesn't exist. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Oh no, yet another super expensive war. But this is where you're wrong, as we can get Mexico to do all the work for us and we don't even have to pay them anything. I mean, just look at that. $0. What can I say, guys? I'm a fiscally responsible type of president. Ba-da-pa-pa-pa. lead paint. I mean, I don't eat it, as that's food for the poor. Speaking of which, we need poor laws, so we can crush all the poor people's political strength. This will certainly help us in our noble fight against the idiot nationalists, who unfortunately came back. And finally we got a full house of slavers. And you know what, guys? I've been thinking, I'm such a good Christian guy, so we should enact a state religion, allowing us to pay our workers even less. You know, for a guy who hates poor people, I sure make a lot of them. The Christian way of doing things. And you guys know what that means. It's time for a private health insurance. Am I a God-fearing American or what? And we can continue confederating Canada. God save the president, because he's a president again. Amazing. Crap, the idiot nationalists are about to start a civil war. I'm sorry guys, but we can't have healthcare, as we have to revisit the slavery debate. Personally, I wouldn't hold my breath, as we don't have a healthcare system. But on the bright side, we can import boatloads of tea and silk from the Chinese. In return, we're gonna sell them guns. Remember guys, China is great and amazing. They have incredible leadership. Personally, they're my favorite European country of all time. And all of my friends love doing business in China. I love them. Oh no, our dear presentator died. And now we have a brand new presentator, Cornelius Vanderbilt. And he's hellbent on some sweeping changes, such as getting back with my ex, Denmark. Additionally, we shall stop wasting legislative time by utilizing a tried and true tactic, minor distraction.
Can read my, no you can't read my poker face.
Now then, we can focus on the important legislation for our nation, crushing trade unions. Remember guys, if we start paying them livable wages today, they shall start demanding we ban slavery tomorrow. Motherfucker, they're demanding we ban slavery today. This is worse than I thought. Do you guys have any idea how incredibly stressful it is to run a country who is at a constant brink of a civil war? If only God can give me a sign and explain to me what do these people want. I just don't get it. Speaking of God, we have to establish a healthcare system specifically designed to profit from our citizens' suffering. Honestly, I can't shake the feeling that gun sales are about to shoot through the roof. And we finally got Colt's legendary revolver. Hell yeah! We're also the #1 producer on the planet. Obviously, the best part of being the world's military-industrial complex is that everyone starts building massive armies, as they're very cheap to maintain, but once they fight you, you simply cut off the supply of guns and bankrupt them instantly. I mean, just look at Mexico. They're in our market and have 162 battalions. If I wish to lower their autonomy, I need a 5 times bigger army than theirs. That would simply be absurd. So I have to lower their autonomy by force. It will cost us a lot of infamy, but it's definitely worth it. Alright, I know what you guys are thinking. How are we supposed to defeat Mexico if they have a bigger army than ours? Now, because we're fighting, they left our market. Therefore, we are now experiencing a massive apple shortage. However, they are experiencing a massive gun shortage. Blink and you miss it. American Jesus. Now of course we can white peace the Netherlands. However, it really worries me that these evil Europeans keep meddling in our affairs. So we're going to get a capital fleet, build a massive navy and invade the international court. My inner George Bush demands it. And it is time for us to take our rightful lands in Canada. First we're going to demand the annexation of Oregon, which will only cost us 10 infamy. Now we can freely click the button making the two Canadas into one country, allowing us to save plenty of infamy. God save the president. Mexico also joined them. Damn it, my fruit market can't take any more shocks. However, this gives us a great opportunity to take a look at Mexico's military market, as we defeated them too quickly last time. Now Oregon is only having munition shortages, but the guns are so expensive, their economy will be completely crippled. Mexico's in default and they capitulated. I guess. There was no pop-up or anything. Finally, pointing America on a map will be easy, even for the Americans. Capital ships, my favorite boat policy. Iron boats, my favorite boats. Obviously, we have to design the biggest and most powerful boat, the Vanderbilt class. And you know it's big, because it's named after the biggest president of the biggest country on the biggest planet. Hang on a minute, what is going on with the literacy rate? Are you guys telling me you're not going to school because it's too expensive? Take a loan or something. I mean, even the slaves can read. You guys need to start pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. But on the bright side, we're complete hegemons in North America. And it's all thanks to our great president, Cornelius Vanderbilt. At this point, we should make him king. It's the only logical choice. And we finally managed to get precision tools. We should really celebrate this amazing American achievement by building a ballroom or something. What? Major General Robert Lee is attempting a coup to stop the monarchy. God damn it, Robert. Bobby, you still have the nasty habit of fighting for the losing side. But fear not, you guys, we finally have Creative Legislature Level 3, which gives us an extra setback. Also, we still have Confederate Canada. Hilarious. We're going to fix it by annexing Alaska. And just look at that big massive United States of America. And we also have to help Denmark against the Russians. Also, the American-Russian War also doubles down as the Schleswig-Holstein War. Amazing. Alright, here's the plan. We're going to station all of our troops in Zealand, whilst at the same time abandoning Sweden. Because when they give up, the Russians and Prussians will have to leave. That's right, guys, it's a waiting game, which is pretty boring, so I'm going to invade the Netherlands. Oh, George Bush, guide my hand. And we got the king guy, Joshua Norton. He is an enlightened royalist, which is the opposite of the bigoted monarchy I'm going for. But at the end of the day, we both want the same thing, a properly functioning monarchy. Oh no, wait, he wants to ban slavery.
This is a crime!
Throw him in a dungeon for a decade. And I just noticed I'm stifling the private sector, which means we need to double our construction. And the invasion of the Netherlands is going swimmingly. Hopefully, Sweden is going to capitulate soon, before the Russians and the Prussians reach us. They gave up, which means we're safe, and we managed to land in the Netherlands, which means George Bush is smiling upon us from his mansion. And very soon, the Russians will be willing to sign a white peace. Wait a minute, why did my army left Zealand and is currently joining the invasion of the Netherlands? Personally, I believe it's the strength of George Bush's war spirit. Obviously, one of the army will hold the Prussians back, as the other one does unspeakable things to the Netherlands population. And we're victorious, thus earning our legal immunity from the international court. We should quickly go back to secure Denmark. What? The Russians landed before we can get there. This is devastating, and it honestly feels worse than that one time one of my classmates started dating my crush. And now I can't show Denmark my big girthy Alaska. So the moral of the story is, size doesn't matter. She'll choose the other guy anyway. And it seems that we're going to have a big strong Germany. Perfect. They're my favorite bad guys. And finally, we have a monarchy with our very first emperor, Cornelius Vanderbilt, the greatest emperor of the greatest country on the greatest planet. USA, USA, USA. And now I'm going to install my cousin as king of Mexico, Napoleon style. Oh no, they haven't discovered fascism, which makes it impossible for us to have nepotism just yet. But what's worse, we have small Germany. Gross. I guess Bismarck didn't do a great job this time. Oh, it's because he was exiled, just like Robert Lee. Hilarious. Get in here. I desperately need someone to start the reactionary movement, so we can enact some based laws. As those ideas are gaining popularity, I just have to fix a terrible injustice. As you guys are probably aware, there's a British Guyana and there's a French Guyana. But where is American Guyana? Preposterous. America deserves the biggest piece. Mutual funds, finally, we can get those housing prices up. And we can also add vertically integrated agriculture, allowing the capitalists to gain more power over the peasants. Now that's the Fifth Amendment I'm talking about. And you know what, guys? People said it couldn't be done, like it's impossible or something. But there you go, we finally have it. The biggest Guyana the world has ever seen. It's bigger than all the other Guyanas combined. Damn, how does the emperor do it? And there you go, guys. The industrialists own everything now. The only thing left for us to do, in order to make our country finally great, is to close the border to these stinking immigrants. They keep trying to escape after we conquer their country. Damn it, half the country is going to revolt. I'm sorry, guys, but we can't close the border just yet. Now, while the CIA is busy oppressing the radicals, we're going to build the Statue of Liberty, which will serve as a great side hoe to the statue of our dear emperor, Cornelius Vanderbilt. Oh no, the emperor died before we can build his statue, and now we're ruled by his son, Emperor Washington Vanderbilt. There's no regency or anything. We can't even get a stable government. Honestly, I wouldn't expect anything from a 5-year-old emperor, which means the whole debate about abolishing the CIA will have to wait. Instead, we have to focus on some minor reforms, such as closing the border so the immigrants can't escape. And we managed to build the Statue of Liberty, everyone's favorite side hoe to the statue of our first emperor, Cornelius Vanderbilt. Breaking news, our country is in a state of a civil war. That's right, the South is rebelling. Can the government stop these rebels? They're already in default. Guys, in such intense environments, never forget to support your local government in order to handle this unprecedented emergency. The government has issued closed borders. Certainly a controversial temporary measure. However, citizens are encouraged to comply with the new regulation. Breaking news! The government has announced yet another temporary measure, national supremacy, so we can achieve our ideals of Christian nationalism. Obviously, this daring new legislation shall transform majority of our population into exploited laborers. God bless America. Currently, we have 7 million slaves, but by utilizing the values of Christianity, the number will certainly grow. Democracy is liberty is we are saved. Whew, that was a close one. Alright guys, I've decided it is time for me to click the button allowing us to shoot the Mexicans and steal all their land. I mean, manifest our destiny. I guess we can also map the American West frontier. Alright, it's time for us to annex Mexico. Now I know what you guys are thinking. And you know what? You might have a point. Oh no, Grand Colombia, the British, the French, and all of their colonies are trying to stop us. However, the British are having trouble dealing with communists, and the Germans are about to invade France. Anyway, just to be sure, we're going to tariff small arms exports, munition exports, and cannon exports, as we simply have to prioritize the American army during the World War of National Supremacy. Mexico's in default, hilarious. And we can have another company. I guess we can take the Carnegie Steel Company, and the Metalworks Inc. will focus only on tools. And just look at the French gun market. Granted, they're not experiencing any shortages, but those prices are brutal. The British are still holding on, but they lost to the communists. I feel like we got this. The Russians demand to cut me down to size. Enjoying Denmark's sweet soft lips wasn't enough for you. Damn you, Russia, I'll destroy you. As this reminds me of that one time when my high school crush chose the other guy instead of me. Alright minorities, from now on, you're practically living in the Balkans. Is this a Christian country or what? France is in default. I told you these gun prices are brutal, and I have prepared a massive list of demands from the Russians. Oh no, the people of Sasquatchua are demanding higher wages. Just because you have Sasquatch doesn't mean you can start communism. Stupid Canadians. Speaking of communism, we're going to invade Venezuela, because my armies are already here. And what if they decide to start communism? Oh no, look at these massive gun sales, and the government is starting to lose money. We should increase the tariffs even more. Mexico capitulated, and we've completed the Manifest Destiny journal entry. And now we can focus on conquering some more South America. Obviously we have to clean the border with Central America as well. But I know what you guys are thinking. If Britain doesn't have enough boats to stop us at the beginning of the game, couldn't we have just murdered our way through the continent 40 years ago? Yes! New Granada, more like the 51st state. Venezuela, more like the 51st state. Costa Rica, more like the 51st state. Am I right, guys? Unfortunately, I can't attack El Salvador, as they're a British puppet and we're currently fighting them. The French gave up, giving me their piece of Guyana. And I guess we can just go annex the communist British as well. Now obviously, we're going to integrate all of the conquered territories as proper US states. However, for some of them it will take a decade. So we're going to enact colonial exploitation, allowing us to exploit the locals in the meantime, as compensation. We're also going to build the Panama Canal. It will take quite a lot of violent suppression, but the locals can take it. And the British gave up, giving me their piece of Guyana. Gotta catch 'em all. Brazil also gave up, which means that not only we have the biggest Guyana ever, but we also run Venezuela now. And the Mexicans are rebelling, even though they have only 2 battalions, as I disbanded their army, hoping that they would magically teleport to the front line. Little did I know, this actively gave the order to my commanders to take all the Mexican soldiers and shoot them in the back of the head, which is an honest mistake anyone could make. So the moral of the story is, don't overdose on lead paint. They back down. What? This is an uprising. How does that even make sense? Now the real issue we're facing is that Denmark is blocking the Strait of Øresund, denying us from invading the Russian capital. Now we have 2 options. Either I get to stop pretending that the United States and Russia aren't neighbors, or I can invade Sweden. Listen guys, this is obviously self-defense. And we've defeated the communist British, and we're also free to exploit them. Exactly what they need after experiencing the horrors of communism. We also have to defeat the British, which gives us a great opportunity to integrate Central America into real America. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Damn those evil European bastards, what's their problem? The answer is very simple, guys. They are racists and they see the world in black and white, unlike us. Currently, we have almost 14 million slaves, and majority of them are Christians. Not only that, but they come in every color. So the moral of the story is, never look at people as members of a certain ethnicity or religious group. Instead, look at them the same way as the guy who dated your crush in high school and enslaved them. Enslaved them all. And we finally managed to get refined steel. Now tell me, guys, who is your favorite super rich person in history? Personally, I love Andrew Carnegie, because after revolutionizing steel production and monopolizing all railways in America, he decided to sell everything and live the rest of his life as the richest person on the planet without attempting to make even more money, as that would be a waste of time. I would never be able to stop trying to make more money, neglect my children, and do drugs. Luckily for me, even homeless people can do those things. Britain gave up, and we managed to unite all of America. That is actually important. Now of course we have to demand the Netherlands to withdraw from Guyana. They accepted. Oh my god, guys, we finally did it. We made America great for the very first time. And all it took was an ungodly amount of exploitation, discrimination, and subjugation. Sweden gave up, which means we can slap massive toes to the Russians, because fuck them. But more importantly, we can finally sail our navy. Oh no, wait, we can't, because the Danes are still blocking it. Damn it, we need a better plan of action. Oh, I know, we're going to invade Belgium. That'll fix everything, according to my lead paint hallucinations. And we managed to build the first skyscraper in Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, the game didn't allow me to build it in New York, or build two of them. I can feel George Bush frowning in his mansion. And we have to defeat the British again. I was honestly hoping the Germans would join, so I can create a land bridge, thus circumventing the strait. Give me a minute, guys, I ran out of paint. And we completed the opium trade, allowing us to get the French addicted to opium. Normally, this happens to the English. However, they are already addicted to opium. So are the Scottish. That actually explains a lot. Personally, I too would start doing drugs if my country was run by a woman. Women. Am I right, guys? Now, if that's not enough to push them over the edge, this peace deal certainly will. Trench infantry, my favorite. Obviously, we have to test it on Luxembourg. Alright, here we go. A world war against Germany. Everyone's favorite. Currently, we are losing because we need supply boats. Lots and lots of supply boats. I have no idea why, but we're certainly fixing the problem. Oh my god, guys, the Germans have declared it. It's an actual world war. Unfortunately, the French have joined. I don't need your help, France. Which means we have to attack them as well. It's the Christian thing to do. Damn it, we're having so many revolts. Unfortunately, we can't afford 3 civil wars right now. So we're gonna have to start debating whether or not we should be woke. Our Emperor Washington Vanderbilt is finally 18. He also lost all of his hair. That looks disgusting. Oh, that's why she chose the other guy. Yeah, that makes sense. Good god, what a mess. Even the Spanish are in on it. Alright guys, we've decided we're not going to be woke. Instead, we're going to be racist. And we finally have enough supply boats, which means we're kicking everyone's asses. Now that's the American military-industrial complex I'm talking about. Big Germany, and they pieced out the Austrians and the French, which means we can have a proper fight. Ah man, there goes my ideal Christian nationalist America. Wait a minute, we're capitulating to the Germans because they annexed Luxembourg and they don't have a war goal. I guess we're gonna have to peace out, but I'll definitely be back for more. Alright then, I don't have a choice. We have to liberate Iraq. Listen guys, if you're playing America, you simply have to invade the Middle East. Also, if you're playing Germany, you have to invade Russia. We also have to fight whatever is left of Britain again, but that won't distract us from our Ottoman invasion. Finally, we managed to achieve the American channel. Britain gave up. I mean, they're run by a woman, everyone's doing drugs, half their country is missing. Honestly, I would give up too. And after our heroic invasion, we managed to liberate Iraq and Israel, everyone's favorite meme countries. Additionally, we have a robust land bridge, so we can freely invade Russia. Now I know what you guys are thinking. We're so much better. This isn't even a challenge. How could she be so stupid to choose that guy instead of me? Ah. Ah, that's good lead paint. That's why we're invading the Germans. I mean, come on guys, if you don't do what the lead paint hallucinations tell you, what's the point? And after 18 years, good god, this war can have a beer. We no longer need to pretend. Russia doesn't border the United States. Now obviously, we're top importers and exporters. You guys know what has to happen. That's right, maxing out all of the tariffs. Obviously, I can pretend like this is about Christianity, saving Western culture, or nationalism, but let's not kid ourselves, it's about the money. It always has been. Remember guys, you are a billionaire down on your luck, and with these sweeping tariffs, no longer shall you live paycheck to paycheck. Instead, you shall enjoy the sunny beaches on your massive yacht with all of the Russian prostitutes, and there won't be any black people involved. Promise. 874,000 American Jesus. Give me a minute guys, I need to have a wank before the trade volume drops. Lesser Britain gave up, and we have quite the military advantage over the Germans. However, they're in default. Oh come on. Flamethrowers, exactly what I've been waiting for. That's right you guys, we can finally use oil in our well-oiled military machine. Besides, I couldn't have ended the war without burning Germany to the ground. At the end of the day, it's one of the key components to a successful America. Germany, more like the 51st state, am I right guys? Oh crap, I missed a spot. Whoops. The moral of the story is, no one has enough votes to stop America impoverishing the poor is a successful economic strategy. Conquering foreign countries and enslaving their population is based and Christian. And always follow your inner voice after consuming copious amounts of lead paint. And that will help create a society where the 0.008% of the population is super rich and powerful, whilst 14% are literal slaves. I mean 26 million people is quite a lot. And it's all thanks to our emperor, Washington Vanderbilt, and his creative legislative choices. Remember guys, taxing the rich is morally bankrupt because one day you will be super rich, and that's practically taxing you. And paying minimum wages is morally bankrupt because when you become super rich and powerful, that's money out of your pocket. It might be difficult now, but once the tariffs take effect, it will solve all of your problems. Just give them a minute. Until next time.